Hey guys, welcome back. So today I had a lot of positive feedback from the other video I did, Chia, we need some answers.
They have no fucking clue. They have no fucking clue. They have no fucking clue.
So today I'm actually going to go through another review of a video that JM recently came out, maybe a couple days now. Since I'm recording this, I may not be able to release it on time. I just want to go over some of the things that he has mentioned in this 1 hour long QA that they had. I'm going to link that video in the description. Just want to kind of bring you guys up to speed if you haven't watched that video, because I noticed that the viewership on that particular video isn't as high, and I'm not sure what region of the people are actually wanting to watch that and hopefully getting something of value from it. There were some questions that were related to technical hard drive questions where JM is very familiar with. And then of course there's other questions relations to Chia itself, where they didn't want to make predictions on the network space and all the growth of the pricing and all that other stuff that we want to know. So what I'm gonna do first is mention, for showing appreciation, I want to send you guys 2 Bitcoins. All right, so this is my Bitcoin miner here. It's 50 cents. But for you guys, it's free because you guys are such loyal, and I love the engagement with you guys on the comment sections. You guys are keeping me to speed on certain things when I'm asking questions, because even I'm confused. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know everything, which I don't. You guys have been really helpful with that. So a token of my appreciation, and I love helping you guys as well, from sometimes, technical aspects to just general questions or the community within, from Reddit, Facebook, and Instagram, possibly. I haven't been so active in Instagram. I haven't seen any groups in Instagram related to Chia, but definitely in the comment section, you guys have been really helpful with that. So I see a lot of engagement, which is awesome. I appreciate all of that. Like I said, I probably have a better chance of hitting 10,000 to 100,000 subscribers before I get any Chia. So I want to just start off with that. So stay with me on this one, all right? Alright guys, so the video I'm referencing is from Chia Decentral, going to be linked in my description below, and I'm going to play parts of the segments that I've recorded. Alright, I pre-recorded a lot of the segments that I wanted to discuss, so this video in particular may be a little lengthy. I'll try to speed it up as fast as I can. I'll do a little bit of playback here and there. First segment I want to start off with is with JM, and this was all the way towards the end of the video. If you actually watch the entire thing, this is literally a few minutes before the end of it, and I'm gonna just switch over to my screen right now to show you guys what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I own Chia, so I hope the coin goes up. I'll tell you that much. So
You can see in that laugh, I own Chia. I hope the price goes up. Yeah, none of us own Chia at this moment. Maybe a few, maybe a handful. How many thousands of farmers that we have out there right now? So I'm just being realistic. I'm not here to argue or debate. I'm just trying to be realistic to get a better understanding. 496 on this particular rig, and I have 39 sitting on the other harvester. I already converted one of them to H-pool. I just did, because I have nothing else to lose. So let me bring up another video so you guys, and now I'm going to go in order of this entire video to show you guys some of the things that I pointed out that made some, kind of like, questionable things to me. All right. This one I called helping friends.
Kind of the community around tools and utilities being built for the actual act of farming.
yeah, once you have the farm built, and actually we're in this spot right now where my farm, I'm actually not plotting to anymore. I'm mostly just building for other people and plotting for friends and whatnot. And my drives are mounted read only. It just sits there.
All right, so that was one of my first segment that I picked up, was helping friends. All right, and then there's a few other ones. I do not want to go into all of them because I dissected that entire 1 hour video, but there are a couple other ones I want to bring up in this particular video that I'm talking about. He did mention RAID. I recorded the segment of RAID. He said that RAID 0 is quicker. If you have the ability to do RAID 0, it writes faster, and the response time is faster. So he recommends RAID 0. But there was one thing he contradicted himself. I'm not here to get at Chia. I'm not here to get at JM. I find his technical experience off the hook, right? His channel, his videos are awesome, and I learned a lot from it. There was one where he mentioned stagger, and stagger is what he said that does not matter, But at the end of the video, at that very same clip, he contradicted himself. And watch, this is what I'm talking about.
A ton of nonsense on it in the plotting channel as well, which is the staggering. And I know even people are making like these tools where they can view the staggering and all this stuff. So staggering is really not that important. People ask me, like, what's the right stagger? The right stagger is none, technically. For the most part, the only reason I stagger is to make sure the destination drives don't get hammered at the same time, right? Because the actual bandwidth on hard drives is about 200 megabytes per second, so you don't want to be thrashing a hard drive with a bunch of sequential writes at one time. But yeah, people, answering the question of like, what's the right stagger? Honestly, it shouldn't make a difference. If you're running a saturated system and you're saturating all your cores, it shouldn't make a difference.
Did you guys catch that? So he basically said staggering is not important. So he went on this whole explanation why staggering isn't important with threads and this and that. And then at the very end of it, he goes, the only reason why I stagger is so there's no bottleneck when it copies over. So do you or do you not use staggering? I don't understand. You just literally just said staggering is not important. And now you're telling us I stagger because of this. So that was one of the biggest highlight that I pointed out, that I found interesting when he mentioned that, because I'm listening. I was like, hey, everyone likes I like staggering because it helps me. I understand that I can utilize all the CPUs on my rig at one given time. It doesn't, the CPU is meant to be worked out like that. But at the very end of it, if you have everything all lined up at the same time and running the processors together, let's just say you have 4, 5, 6 plots running all simultaneously, which in this case they call parallel, what happens at the very end when you're writing to that one same final destination drive? If you had multiple drives, fine, it'll split the load and it goes on its merry way to whatever drive you have destined for writing that final plot. But if it's one drive with 5 plots writing all to the finalizing that one location, obviously that's the bottleneck, right? And that's the reason why you have your staggering position. Case in point, where he just mentioned that he does stagger because of that. But then you also mentioned that staggering is not important. All right, so that's up for debate. You guys can view the entire video in its entirety. I'm not picking it out. I'm not dissecting it to the point where it's getting misinterpreted. It's usually one question, one answer, and then it goes on to the next question. So let's keep on going. I'm just gonna jump around a little here. I have one that says, all right, so I did the rate 0 one. He mentioned that rate 0 is a benefit to that. But anything above rate 0 is definitely going to slow down that entire process and probably not even necessary. He also mentioned third parties, where there are a lot of developers coming out with enhancements, interfaces, bloggers, checkers, all that good stuff, and they don't have time to actually check it, validate it to see if it's worth their while. They did mention a few of them, and there are that he listed there. I'm not going to go into the details of that because I even questioned it, like, should I do it or not do it, because I don't like it and I'd get rid of it. All right, so he did mention this one segment with ROI, so I'm going to pull that one up as well and see what they had to say about that.
Price point, would it make sense to buy XCH for plotting and farming? That's a great question, by the way, because I'm answering this for a lot of friends that are like, is it too late to plot? So what I do is make a model of like, okay, how much money am I going to spend on the hardware? So you add up all the money you're going to spend on plotting hardware, all the money you're going to spend on farming hardware, and then you divide that by the total number of terabytes. And then you have your dollar per terabyte. And we call this, in modeling total cost of ownership, you have your CapEx, or capital expenditures, per terabyte. And then you do the same for operational expenditures. Say, okay, how much power does all this equipment consume? And then you add that up over 5 years and then divide it by the number of terabytes. There you have it. You know exactly how much it costs you per terabyte. Now, the cool thing about Chia is that 1 terabyte versus 100 terabytes versus 1,000 terabytes, your rewards are exactly linear. It's not like your rewards are, you don't have economies of scale by having more capacity. Your rewards are exactly proportional to the net space. And so now that you have your cost per terabyte, then you basically just say, what is my expected rewards per terabyte in whatever model I make up for Chia? Maybe my model is that the price goes up 3x. Maybe my model is that it's a 60 exabyte net space in a year from now. Whatever my model is, I just pop it into Chia calculator. I actually, the right way to do this is have a range, like a low case, a high case, and a mid case. and then you create your model and say, what is it for break even? And if you find out today with farming that the cost of farming is actually netting coins at like $150 to $200 per coin, you say, well, actually, that's lower than the cost to buy a coin right now. So if you have the chops to do farming, farming is actually much more cost efficient than buying the coins. Now, there's something to be said about just buying the coins because it's a whole lot easier to just click a button and buy the coins. So for a lot of people that don't have the technical chops to farm, I'm like, you guys should absolutely not start a farm. Like, I have friends that have no experience with computer hardware, and they're like, should I build a farm? I'm like, probably not, to be honest. But
10 months ago, probably
yeah,
the answer is yes, but right now,
Let me just go through one more. There was one where he called out a particular YouTuber. You can check that out in the video. It was very technical. It had to do with SSD drives, and they were getting very technical into the hard drives. I could pull it up. Let me just see if I can pull up the actual part.
if you saw any YouTube videos that pissed you off this week, or
I did.
saw any Reddit.
I did see one. Yeah, I don't know. Did you guys see there was the Chia forum guys were laughing because I was up late one night ranting in the plotting channel, and they took a screenshot of it and put it in the Chia forum. So
are we gonna call somebody out?
I will. I don't actually know them, so I'm gonna feel kind of guilty on throwing them under the bus here. But this is the video. If you guys see what I'm sharing?
Yes.
This is the video that just set me off last week. By the way, I know nothing about this guy. He might be a great guy. His other videos might be fantastic. I've literally watched half of this video, so I'm just going to tell you what I know about this video. It starts the video out great and says, hey, the sustained bandwidth on NVMe SSDs is pretty important, blah, blah. Here's how they measure it. Here's the cache, how the cache works, blah, blah. So it actually starts out pretty good. And then he goes in and makes like two absolutely terrible assumptions. So one, he says that like, oh, the only difference in flash is MLC versus TLC versus QLC, and that's his multi-level cell, triple level cell, and quad level cell, 4 bits per cell, and that's the only difference in SSDs, and every TLC drive is basically the same, and I just like facepalm, right? So TLC, this is the SSD market is massively big. NAND market is massive. You have NAND.
There's a lot of YouTubers on this train of doing videos, me included. Obviously, I'm one of them. I'm doing one right now as I'm talking about this. So let me pull up this last one I called real money,
and very positive. Like, right, I think a lot of people are getting either discouraged or like, and I realize like people are putting up their real money on the line, which for a lot of people is like very serious, like a large percentage of the money that they have to go spend on plotting and farming. So I very much tried to help as many people as I can. And I'm going to thank like Kiwi and all the people that have, a lot of people that have recently joined, Chia actually as customer support, that have been just helping people like feverishly in the support channel and the plotting channel, and just like helping them, like, because yeah, it's really serious, right? A lot of people are spending like real money, and we want to help them. So
basically saying that people are spending real money. No kidding. 8 terabyte, 10 terabyte, 12, 14, 16 terabyte drives are not cheap. That's not something that we had lying around to plot and farm Chia. Those are drives that people actually have to obtain. For the most of us, like if you worked somewhere that actually had drives, or you can utilize things that were being recycled, fine. But majority of us aren't in that category of luck. So yeah, it's money that we spent. It's just an 8 terabyte drive now is like almost $200. You could probably get it for a little less, but case in point is that I have a ton of 8 terabyte now, and you guys can argue the point and say, oh, I have more, or I have less, or I'm dumb or stupid for buying so much. Bring up a really good example, and I'm gonna see if you guys can relate. If you guys know who Bernie Madoff is, he passed away already, and I'm not even gonna explain who he is. But the concept behind that, what my point is that, I'm not saying Chia is that. What I'm saying is, if you know of this story with Bernie Madoff, everyone that was in on it had no idea that it was going to happen that way. Meaning, you're blindsided. You were in on it, you saw a return, or you were hoping for a return, but at the very end of it, you kind of just lost everything. You lost everything. You didn't win anything. What you were promised was just not there. Meaning someone ran off, or that particular person ran off with everything that you ever had, or you invested, or not everything. Maybe you put a percentage of it into it. I put a percentage into it. I didn't put my whole life savings into it. I don't know what other people might have. I know I've heard of stories where people take out life savings and put it into Bitcoin and Dogecoin. I don't know how true those are, but I wouldn't have done it for Chia, and I'm not sure if anyone else would have done it for Chia. I mean, it might have set us back a few dinners or a few outings or a opportunity to buy a new TV or something, but I wouldn't say it was cheap, and I wouldn't say my whole life was dependent on it. To get something in return because we're part of the project and the whole. So I don't agree with people when they say, "Oh, you can't just be in it for the money. You should be in it for the technology." Bullshit. All right. If that was the case, you wouldn't be mining, farming, or you wouldn't be buying into stocks or investing in anything. Because if you really wanted to invest in something, you're looking for a return. You're not investing into McDonald's so they can just give you an extra French fry. That's not why you're investing. If you're telling me that you haven't invested in anything, whether it's buying a stock or buying crypto or buying a house or a rental property or anything else, and you're not about the money, then I'm not even sure why you're watching this video to begin with. All right? And I hope that you have the best of luck going forward in your 9-to-5 job. That's all I have to say. So that's pretty much, this was a really lengthy one. I'm probably going to have to cut it down a little bit more, and do expect more videos like this from me, because I am not stopping my Chia. I'm not stopping my farm. It's not going to go anywhere. It's going to sit here. I'm not selling anything because I'm still waiting for the pools. I'm optimistic about the pools. I'm waiting for. There's only a few more days before the end of the month, like it was promised. I want to see how realistic this is. But you also have to remember, even Elon Musk postponed or had to push back his manufacturing of the Cybertruck. Just saying, even the richest guy in the world can't control that. So you can take that with a grain of salt and do whatever you please with it. Please comment, like, and subscribe to this video. If you haven't been a follower of mine, I know there's a lot of viewers that are non-subscribers. Please subscribe and help me out and help build this channel, because I will be the voice of reasoning. Thank you guys for being here again. Bye.